Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Hey, I thought today we talk a little bit about practicing Tai Chi in a small space and what maybe you and I can learn from practicing in the small space. The founder of our little branch of the Yang system, our Yang family Tai Chi system, is Chung Da Chen, and he used to be fond of countering people's objections to not being able to practice. Like if they said they had no time, he would say, "Oh, you can do this in 5 minutes." Or if they said they had no space, he would pull out a table or a desk or something and jump up on the desk and then do the whole form on a table or on a desk to sort of illustrate that you don't need a lot of space. But also, there's another illustration going on there, which is that the form is not the Tai Chi, because it's still Tai Chi, even though you've changed the form. You've adapted your footwork to a smaller space. So I think that's a good lesson to learn, and also it's just a great way to practice when you don't have much space. I pretty much learned all the basics Tai Chi the first several years I was learning. I had a practice space about this big, about maybe a queen-size bed worth of practice space. So I'm going to show just a brief form. This is a half of our partner form. We have a 45 movement partner form that blends together. You can do it solo or you can do it together, partnered. And I'm going to do one half of that partner form in this small space. Normally this thing would take up about, 3 or 4 times the length of the room this way and fan out a bit. But if you watch the footwork, you'll see that rather than, like for instance, here's the first couple moves in the form if I was doing it outside with plenty of space. Bow to my imaginary friend, step out. This is a little distraction, and I'm punching and I'm punching. And you can see I've already reached the wall. So big steps, right? So now I'm going to do those steps and the 40 some odd movements that come after it, and we'll see if I can stay in this little space right here. I even have this file cabinet sticking out a little bit. So watch the footwork. That's where you're going to see me more or less staying in place. I'm going to try to keep my posture. I'm going to try to keep relaxation. I'm going to try to keep flow. I'm going to try to keep balance and martial intent, meaning that I know the pathways of what I'm doing. Like I could do that against an obstacle because my muscles are lined up well that way, and I practice that way too. So let's see what happens. Right, and back where I started. So I did it, a bit fast. It's done at a moderate pace. This form is not done the slow step, shift, turn, and settle, because that footwork and that way of doing it is appropriate for learning attributes in a basic form, but not appropriate for learning how to move your feet in a partner form in any kind of more dynamic setting. So when you start having to issue energy, you start changing your footwork. When you have to use momentum and move and deal and neutralize and move around, you have to change your footwork. You can see my video, Context Determines Footwork, I think. Because if you think the form is a map that you should obey in actual life, then that's like thinking that you could play scales in your bathroom and that would, or sing scales in your bathroom, and that would prepare you to sing opera at the Met. Okay, it's part of singing opera at the Met. It'll help you sing opera at the Met, but it's not singing opera at the Met. So like the forms, you know, if I'm thinking that someone pushes my shoulders and I'm going to do this, or they punch me and I'm going to take their hand and do Parting Horse's Mane, yeah, it's not going to happen that way, especially for a punch like that. You're not going to do Parting Horse's Mane. So anyway, the footwork can change according to your function, and that can mean changing it as you get more martial, or as you get more dynamically self-protective, or it can also change because you simply don't have the space to do, you know, cover the ground that your form would normally cover. So I like being able to do forms almost in place. You can see I did that form almost in place, and I could do the other half, the half that interlocks with that also in place, and keep my footwork small and not cover a lot of ground. So it's a nice way to illustrate and experience for yourself that one, the form isn't the Tai Chi. It's the container, it's the instructor, it's the playground. It's not the actual Tai Chi, which is an ability to maintain balance under pressure, I would say. And how much pressure you want to put on your Tai Chi is up to you. You want to take it all the way to Tai Chi Chuan and make it really about fighting. Can you maintain your balance under fighting pressure? Then you can do that. But it's still Tai Chi, even if it's a health exercise. It's just not it doesn't have as much fist in it. It doesn't have as much of the martial art part. So it shows you that one, the form is not the Tai Chi, and two, context determines footwork, and three, you don't need a lot of room to practice. You can do it in a fairly small space. It helps to have room while you're learning, but once you know it, you can shrink it down to this kind of size. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Comments are always appreciated. Donations are appreciated. I have a little tip jar down below in the description of this video. But comments are also great, and you can also visit GeneBurnett.com for more info on me and all the stuff I do. Thank you.